Good Monday morning to everyone. Hope you are doing well. Today is a very significant day because for those who are studying the Daf Yomi, they complete the tractate of Shabbat. It's a very long one, 156, 57 pages, and it is indeed an achievement. So Mazel Tov to the thousands upon thousands of Jews throughout the world who have completed the tractate that studies Shabbat. Now, there's a very fascinating discussion in the last few pages of the tractate that talks about the Mazel. The Mazel. In other words, in many cultures, there was a belief that if you look at the celestial bodies and you go ahead and analyze them, you could determine the direction of a person, right? You study the constellations. Obviously, we're talking about astrology. And if you study them and analyze them, you could figure out the direction of a person. Now, Rabbi Yochanan tells us in the Talmud, for the Jewish person, there's nothing to worry about their constellations, right? Don't worry about your mazel, quote unquote, because en mazal leIsrael. For the Jewish person, there's no such thing as a mazal. And commentators explain that we have the ability to overcome those mazalot. In other words, if indeed there are things that are going to determine that a specific person has traits, right, or specific challenges or personalities, don't worry, you could overcome it with tefillah, with prayer, or with a zchut, or with a merit. I actually do remember as a child my grandmother having a conversation with her younger sister. Her younger sister was a great intellectual and a scholar. She wrote many books, even about Iyov. And my grandmother mentioned to her sister Rachel that I feel I don't have mazel. And my great aunt turns to Safta and says, what do you mean? En mazal Israel. We could overcome it with tefillah, with a zchut, with merits. So this is something I grew up with. En Mazal leIsrael. You have the ability to overcome anything that is natural for you. And this is how rational commentators who reject the idea that we are affected by celestial bodies, by the zodiac, right? A rejection of astrology. Those who follow that way of thinking, which we call the school of Maimonides, explain the words of the Talmud as follows. We all have our natures, right? We are born with specific traits, right? Some of us get upset faster. Some of us have tendencies that come from birth. It's in our genes. Don't feel that you are limited by them. Don't feel that you have lost, right, self-control or the ability to make proper decisions based on them, because the Jew with faith can overcome it. So Ein Mazal Yisrael means don't say that it's in my personality to just get angry. Don't say that it's just within my personality to always be unhappy. The Jew has the tools with free will to overcome it. So this is how it's understood. En Mazal leIsrael. Worry not about your mazel. You could overcome it. At times it appears to be very, very difficult. Worry not, it could be achieved through prayer. Or worry not with a merit. You could overcome things that naturally, perhaps, are supposed to occur. And I feel that this is an important message at the end of Tractate Shabbat. You know, Shabbat is the day that gives us our identity, right? We get together as families. We detach from the world. We put our phones down. We shut off our computers, shut off the television. It is a time to reflect and think about who we are. And to remember this idea, there is nothing that controls us. We have free will. We have the ability to take control of our life and do good things. That's a message of Shabbat. And therefore, it's very possible that the rabbis placed this information at the end of Tractate Shabbat, because that's what they want you to walk away with, right? It's an uplifting message. And I've seen it, and I'm sure all of us have seen people that perhaps naturally, right, have personalities that are a little bit difficult, but they work on themselves, right? They take the messages of our faith from the Torah, from the Talmud, from the great Musar thinkers, and they develop into better people. And it's amazing what they achieve. And they prove this concept. En Mazel Israel. There's nothing that limits you. So that's the message for today. And again, we congratulate those who have completed this tractate. Torah study. Torah study is important for everyone. Every single day, people should set aside time. If it's a Daf Yomi, that's great. And if it's a Mishnah, that's great. Or if it's a section from the Tanakh, that's great. Because it gives us meaning, direction, and connects us to what's really important. We need it now, we need it always. It should be a wonderful day to all. Bye-bye.